I've tried to do the introduction to this discussion 3 times now because the title of this episode is for some reason really difficult to say. This is Falafelosophy, and I might not pronounce that again in this discussion. But this is the first segment in the 4th episode of the 14th season of Arthur, and this is great for 2 reasons. The subject matter is brilliant, and it really speaks to my heart. And the second reason is that we have a brilliant guest star, Neil Gaiman. I think this is the first time in Arthur where I've been really excited about one of the guest voices, because obviously Neil Gaiman is absolutely brilliant, a fantastic writer, brilliant storyteller. Caroline is one of my all-time favourites, and Caroline's actually mentioned in this episode, and Sue Ellen meets Neil Gaiman, and he encourages her to try to write and illustrate her own graphic novel, and the episode is about her trying her hand at that, the various obstacles of writer's block, or I don't know what is it artist's block? I'm not a visual artist, so I'm not entirely sure what illustrator's block is called. Maybe it's that. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. And the various challenges she faces with adapting her story, developing it, getting her characters, and also convincing her friends that it's a worthy art form, because some of them are not convinced that graphic novels are quality artwork or literature. And I think this was released in 2010 according to IMDb. I feel like in 2010 graphic novels were really having their own time in the light. Certainly nowadays graphic novels are hailed as highly as, maybe not as highly as some of the best works of literature, but they're very popular, and they're kind of being increasingly seen as acceptable works of art and literature. Whereas obviously back in the day they were just kids' comics and people didn't really understand them. So I think it's an important discussion as well about the worth that graphic novels can have and the work that goes into creating them. And Neil Gaiman appears in this in various guises, kind of sometimes a figment of Sue Ellen's imagination when she turns to him for help and support, and obviously as himself, as a person. I really enjoyed the way he was animated in Arthur's style. Definitely had a lot of fun with that animation, and really loved seeing him in this, or hearing him in this, I guess. And the subject matter is brilliant as well. Falafelosophy is definitely an episode that I really thoroughly enjoyed.